PlayStation Showcase, Summer Game Fest, and now recently we had the Xbox Showcase. There are plenty of good games to check out that are coming soon. Lots of new stuff as well. Well, some of them being leaked, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, so just like the other two videos I did on the other two events, I picked out some announcements from the showcase, and let's talk about them. Imagine a co-op action roguelike for not one, not two, not three, but 33 players. That's right, 33 Immortals is coming out. And this game will come out in 2024 for Game Pass and Xbox Series X. So, what exactly can 33 Immortals be compared to? Well, of course, if you look at the trailer, it's obvious. Hades. I love Hades, it's a great game. If you have not played Hades, you should definitely check it out. Even if roguelikes aren't exactly your thing, that game might change your mind, and might get you into more roguelikes. But looking at this game, it looks very colorful. It looks like a game that would be really fun by both yourself or friends. And the level design looks clean, the art style looks amazing. Seems like it'll have some pretty interesting lore. Maybe, maybe not. But if it does have interesting lore, that'd be great. Pick up raid stuff, go through huge waves of enemies. Looks like a game with a lot of replayability, so I hope this is good. Let's talk about Yakuza. So in the previous showcase, the Summer Game Fest, we had The Man Who Erased His Name, and now, in the Xbox Showcase, we have yet another Yakuza spin-off called Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. And looking at this trailer, we see Ichiban Kasuga, the protagonist of Yakuza 7, or Yakuza Like a Dragon. And he wakes up in what seems to be Hawaii, or at least that's what people are speculating that place is, and he is naked. Well, welcome to Yakuza, guys. But yeah, it seems like that Ichiban and Kiryu will have a lot of conversation here, plus it will come in early 2024 to Xbox and Windows. So, not much details, just a very funny trailer, and, the world could always use more Yakuza games, if I had to say something about it. Let's talk about Avowed. So, this game is being developed by Obsidian Entertainment. In case you don't know who Obsidian Entertainment is, they are known for the two famous Western RPGs, The Outer Worlds and Fallout New Vegas. And here they are with a new intellectual property named Avowed. A medieval RPG, similar to Elder Scrolls in a way, but it's still its own thing. Now some people are not impressed. Most people are pretty happy with what they're seeing, but a lot of the criticism is about how the game looks a little too cartoony and too colorful. For me personally, I'm alright with that, because usually Western RPGs are more dark and gritty in terms of their art style and art direction. So I think this is pretty nice. And also, enemies look pretty fun. The gameplay looks fresh, while still, retaining some of the classic elements that make a Western RPG a Western RPG. And there's guns, which is interesting, but whatever, I'll take it. And I think it's a game that people could put in a lot of time into, because one, that's what people do with the other Obsidian Entertainment games, and two, in an RPG, they're bound to be lengthy, and people want to try all the side quests, they want to get all the skills, they want to just explore, instead of just doing the main quest, they just want to explore the area and discover new things. Typical good things that come out of a RPG. So, I will definitely check this out. This might not be a huge game-changing, industry-changing type of game, but I think it's a game that people will enjoy for quite a while if they play all their cards right. This game releases in 2024 on Game Pass, Xbox Series X and S, and Steam. Star Wars Outlaws. Welcome to the first ever open world Star Wars game. Yes, it is here. By Ubisoft, we have Star Wars Outlaws. It is, if you want to know in terms of the movie, where it takes place in the Star Wars movies, it takes place between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Now, a lot of people are saying they wish they can customize their character and all that, and I understand that, because, it feels like because it's an open world game and, if you're going to have a lot of freedom as to what you can do, many people will be like, yeah, I want to make my own character, but I think this protagonist is fine. I think having an actual set protagonist is fine the way it is. So yes, you play as Kay Vess, the scoundrel, seeking freedom and the means to start a new life along with her companion Nyx. That's the synopsis here. You got a galaxy of opportunity. You got a scoundrel story, if you love that. If you love outlaw stuff, which is, in the title, this might be your game. And, you fight with the blaster, and you got stealth. It's one of those games where you can either just shoot them all, or play slow and steady. And of course, there are missions that take place in space. This game has a lot of people talking because, one, it's Star Wars. Two, It's from a big company, Ubisoft, which I know doesn't have the strongest reputation as of right now, but usually Ubisoft does have big franchises, and now they have a Star Wars game with them. And the story does look pretty interesting. I actually encourage you to look it up for yourself and see what the synopsis is. Now, as far as trailers go, if you look at the world premiere trailer, it's just a cinematic. Now, that cinematic does actually give you an insight as to what the game will look like. But if you want to see gameplay, there is a 10-minute gameplay video, and I will link that in the description. So definitely check that out if you are interested in Star Wars Outlaws. Kunitsu-Gami Path of the Goddess. This is an interesting one. So, Capcom, as I'm sure you already know, has been very good these past few years with their game production. They have been very good with Devil May Cry, Resident Evil, Mega Man, and so on. This is an action game with traditional Japanese aesthetics, so it follows Okami, those types of games they were looking at when they were trying to get that aesthetic into the game. As you look into this trailer, you'll see that it's very pretty to look at, right? With the aesthetics and the art style and the design. But it's kind of confusing to understand what exactly is going on here. But that's okay, because right now there's not much to see. There's no release date, it's just it comes to PS5, Xbox Series X, PC, Game Pass, and all that. I definitely would pay attention to this because there's not really much that is known about this game so far, but it looks like a game that could become a really big deal as time goes on. So yeah, not much I could say here unfortunately, it's just, it looks cool from what I'm seeing. That's Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess. Unfortunately leaked many days beforehand, the Persona 5 3 remake and a new Persona 5 spin-off are coming. The Persona 3 remake is called Persona 3 Reload, and it looks incredible. Persona 3, the game, original game, is absolutely insane. It is one of the best JRPGs ever made. I'm telling you, if you have not played it and have been interested in it, or have been interested in getting into JRPGs, Persona 3 is definitely a great game to both start with, and even if you are experienced with the genre, you would know how good Persona 3 is with its story, characters, captivating experiences, gameplay, and so on. And now it's coming back to be completely rebuilt from the ground up, where even the voice actors are going to be changed. The graphics look amazing, still keeping the same charm and the UI and the mechanics and the art style that made the original great. But yes, Persona 3 Reload looks incredible. I don't really know what else there is to say, it is huge. This is big news. It's coming to all platforms except the Switch. It is not going to be on the Switch, I'm not sure why, but they did confirm that it will not be on the Switch. One of the best JRPGs of all time is about to get a remake, so get ready for that in 2024. Now for the other game, Persona 5 Tactica. This game has been known earlier in terms of the title. People knew that it was going to be P5T, and here it is. So this is a much smaller project, as you can tell by the trailer. And, it uses the chibi art style. Well, the thing is, Persona 5, it's getting milked with all these spin-offs. These spin-offs are not terrible, but, it's not exactly something that's going to make you go absolutely crazy, but it looks fun nonetheless. Although I wouldn't say it's my type of game because it's this, strategy XCOM style game, but, you never know. And as far as characters go, yes, all the Phantom Thieves are returning with their respective voice actors, as well as a new character named L. One more thing is, of course, as far as release dates and platforms go, it will be multi-platform, and it will come on November 17th of this year. Speaking of Atlas, let's talk about their new project, Metaphor ReFantazio. What if the world we live in today is their utopia? This game is a fantasy game, which is very unique for Atlas because usually their games take place in Japan, but here it takes place in a fantasy world. This game is being made by the creators of Persona 3, 4, and 5, and this is their next step, and it looked incredible. The characters look amazing, the acting sounds amazing, the menus, the UI, look at the menus and UI, I mean this is to be expected. You're like, yes, that's Atlas right there. And of course, there's the calendar system. There's all the same charm that made Persona so good, but a new spin on it, because this time, again, like I said, it takes place in a fantasy world, with fantasy characters, with fantasy enemies. It just looks so cool. The anime cutscenes look incredible, over the top. The gameplay looks very fun. It looks like you're going to sink a lot of hours to this game, which is to be expected from not just a JRPG, but an Atlas game. Atlas is just very consistent with this type of stuff, so, obviously you got to keep your expectations in check when you're excited for a game, but it's just very hard to find a flaw with this trailer so far. It is coming in 2024 to Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Windows, and PlayStation as it was revealed later. This is my favorite announcement of the whole showcase, and that will be it for this video. Let me know what your thoughts on the Xbox showcase was. Was it a surprise to you? Because it definitely was for me. Usually people don't see Xbox showcases as being like the most hype and most interesting showcases that take place in the year, but with this recent one, it seems like they actually pulled it off. And there were many new games and cool announcements and just new stuff to look forward to, so let me know what your favorites were. That'll be it for now, and I will see you next time.